coconut macaroon, perfect for dessert. Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show you a quick recipe for coconut macaroon. I've got granulated sugar, ground rice, and designated shredded coconut, and salt, almond extract, or you can use vanilla extract, and I'm going to need 2 to 3 egg white. So the first step is to break the egg and separate the yolk from the white by just shifting it from one half of the egg to another. You can adjust the texture if it's hard or you don't have the consistency that you want, but I'm using 2 to start off with. So whisk the egg white until nice and fluffy. A bit of work. Then add in half a cup, that's about 60 grams of granulated sugar. Notice I'm using granulated sugar, not caster sugar. We want it all coarse and rough. So we're going to whisk this until we have a soft peak, like a mirror. It's going to take some time. Keep going until it becomes nice and white. Once it's nice and thick and fluffy, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of almond extract, optional. You can use vanilla, lemon, whatever flavor you prefer. Whisk that in. Add a pinch of salt. Mix that in as well. You can see it's nice and fluffy. So I'm going to add in, this is optional as well, 2 tablespoons of ground rice. This is an old recipe from, I think, about 21 years ago from college. So mix that in, and the next step is the designated dried coconut. I'm using the sweetened ones, so 1 cup. First into it, and then gently mix in so as not to lose the air that you've incorporated into the sugar and egg batter. So I'm going to add half more cup of the coconut into the mixture, into the batter. Gently fold until it's all combined. The next step is to heat this off to about 45 degrees. You can place this on a water bay marine so the steam can warm it up, but I'm just gonna pop it into my microwave for about 30 seconds. You don't want to cook it, you just want to bring it into a little bit above room temperature. So I've got 30 seconds. Take the coconut macaroon mixture out of the microwave. It's just slightly warm, not hot, 45 degrees. So I'm going to mix the mixture and let it cool and set for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to place onto a baking tray. To prepare the tray, you can either use some margarine or butter to grease your tray, or use a paper silicone or rice paper. Also, you can use a scoop, ice cream scoop, or any scoop that you can lay your hand on, or even a spoon, to place the batter onto a tray. Make sure you have it stacked up to about 5 centimeters tall and 2 centimeters round, or you can use a piping bag or a plastic bag. Cut the base and put in about 5mm star tube. That's the largest tube. And then place the coconut macaron paste into the bag. And then we're going to pipe onto the tray. So push from the top until you have nice balls shape with high peak tip. The start to make a nice creative design onto the macaron paste. The star tube creates like a rosy kind of design on the macaron, so it's actually the best way to do it. A piping bag with about 15mm piping tube. So is the next step. I'm going to decorate the top with half of glazed cherries. This is just for garnish and beauty. So place this on top. This is optional. And then I'm going to pop this in the oven at 170 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes. The coconut macaroon is ready, so I'm going to place them on a cooling wire. Quite soft, so you have to handle it gently. The next step to the coconut macaroon is to decorate them. So I'm going to use some chocolate. So I'm going to crumble this into a bowl and soften it, melt it in a microwave. You can also use steam. You don't want to cook it, so I'm just going to melt it slightly and then it's ready to use. The chocolate is nice and melted, so I'm going to mix it together. And there are two options. You can dip the bottom of the macarons into the chocolate like that and place onto a plate, or you can get yourself a little piping bag with maybe number two piping tube, or just slit the top of the piping bag if you don't have a piping tube. So the other thing you can also use a fork to dribble it over it. So you place the macaron onto your plate and just do a dripping across like that. You can use a fork, or like I'm going to use a little bag with the number two piping bag to spawn the chocolate over it. You can also use icing sugar if you prefer. So just like that. So it's dripping it and doing it across. Coconut macaron. Enjoy.